It's me, Greg. I'm on vacation this week. This is me surfing. And here I am scuba diving. And this is me in a local jail. Right before they strip searched me. In all honesty, I asked for it. I mean, seriously, I asked them to do it. It's true, I am actually on vacation right now. We taped this show last Friday. Now, something could happen between then and now that changes everything, which is why I picked stories for this show with no inherent news value. I'm being honest, except for this one. Today, I found out that they've stopped the Jerry Springer show. And it made me think, Jerry Springer is still on? But also, why stop his show now? Well, you might say, who needs it right now? After all, with the nation's political tension, every day is the Jerry Springer show. Full of hair pulling, chair throwing, name calling, all because we have opposing views. And the media blames, of course, the guy in the White House, who I call the Orange Gandhi, which is BS. Politics always causes friction. We just have more places to see it. 24-hour cable news, social media, Lou Dobbs's hot tub. We get it, the country is divided, but that's actually good. It's better to have two sides than one. And I wish we had more sides, actually. Plus, we just celebrated our 242nd birthday. We've been through way worse than this. And by the way, we look pretty awesome for our age. Take a look at this map. We haven't gained a pound in 60 years. Idaho has abs. But there's always room for improvement. The good news is most of America isn't what's on TV. The shouting on camera is what attracts the camera in the first place. So that's why you see more of it. However, it may not be a bad idea to lighten up a little, which is why I'm still calling for a Keep the Peace movement. To start, we got to admit that everyone who annoys you thinks that they're right. But so do you, and that annoys them. So the solution is that we should admit that we see things through different filters. Like this week, a neighbor posted something about Trump. I didn't agree with it, and I replied. The next thing you know, things got really, really personal. Now, I'm not proud of what I did on his porch. It wasn't supposed to be that messy. I do eat a lot of fiber. And now I'm worried he might have a surveillance camera. But worse, I'll bet I didn't convince him and he didn't convince me. And that's fine. We're both good people who see things differently. But if birds and cats can get along, why can't we? We cut off that tape before the ugliness. But that's why I'm for a peace movement, a conservative peace movement, like hippies that smell good. The next time you're in a debate, I ask you, stay polite, compromise, and forgive when a line is crossed. You may not get anything in return. Still, all you can do is take the high ground and see if they follow. If that doesn't work, date one of their relatives. It drives them nuts. Look at that. Whoa. Let's welcome tonight's guests. Aside from Betty Crocker, he's my favorite baker. Former CIA operative, diligence president, and all-around handsome dude, Mike Baker. Well, he could turn the world on with his smile and turn it off with his odor. Sorry. Fox News radio host Tom Shalhoub. Her favorite food is corn on the macabre. That is a great intro. National Review reporter Kat Timpf. And he jumps rope with a telephone line. Former WWE superstar and my massive sidekick, Tyrus. All All right, Mike, good to see you. Is there any hope for the United States to actually become united?
No. By the way, I like the way this is the international symbol for jumping rope, right, Tyrus? Yeah, I like that. That was very good.
Try to answer the question,
Everybody
Mike,
picked up on
or
it.
you won't be back.
I wasn't even listening to the question. You know what? But I think you've got an absolutely perfect point here. Nobody lives in the center anymore. Nobody is living in the middle ground. It's like trench warfare, where both sides are over here on opposite sides throwing hand grenades at each other, and we've lost the ability to have a civil discourse really about just about anything. As soon as you start talking, somehow it veers off course. And I've got family that sits on both sides of the spectrum, right and left. And on the left, it's pretty hardcore left. And I just want to have dinner, right? You just want to get together and enjoy family and everything, and you can't do it. It's very, very difficult. We're not approaching Civil War status. I don't think that's ever going to happen. And by the way, if it did, the left would get its ass kicked. But I think I think we do need to step back, take a breath, and do exactly what you say. Next time you're in a conversation, just realize, okay, look, we've seen a lot worse times. And it's not the death of the republic every time the administration takes an action.
Mm-hmm. You know, Tom, is it too much to expect the left to meet the right, like halfway? Not even halfway. I'd be happy if 10%. Because they're angry, they're out of power. Would they actually respond?
You want 10%? Or are you going to give 10? Or are you going to give 90?
I'm going to give 90.
Oh, that's too much. I don't know. I don't think it's that bad. I mean, people yell at each other in the media.
That's true.
On TV, we yell at each other. We're always yelling at each other.
Yes.
But and Twitter and everything else. But in normal life, we're kind of nice to each other most of the time. Mm-hmm. You know, unless they kick you out of a restaurant every once in a while.
Yes.
But I don't mind. I mean, I think maybe the civility thing. I don't like civility. You know. It's like at the debates, they're always like, it's like fake. The civility is fake.
That is true.
No one wants to be nice. They're like, they ask you a question at a debate, and they're like, well, first I'd like to pause and thank everyone for being here. It's like, shut up and answer the question.
Yes.
I want to be a little more rude.
Shut up, Tom.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. All right, Kat, Tom brought up social media. I have a theory, and I'm not sure. It's like, does it contribute to hostilities, or is it a release valve? So the hostilities are less likely to be on the street and more likely in the broadband where nobody really gets hurt? Is that correct? Or are you just like staring at me blankly, waiting for me to shut up?
I mean, I think that people can get hurt on social media. I think that sometimes people can be really, really mean and really, really nasty. And whenever you look at their bios, it's always like loving grandfather, and you're like, whoa, why are you like this? Where does this come from? Is it better that he's not yelling at his grandkids? I guess probably.
Yes.
I want everyone to be nice to their grandkids, so I'll be fine being called an idiot bimbo by a grandpa.
Yes.
You know, I can take it. But yeah, I think social media, though, it shows you how really ugly some people are on the inside, and I think it's actually kind of terrifying.
Tyrus, what?
No, you said my name.
I know.
Okay.
That's how I try to get you interested in this show. Should we all take the high road in political debates instead of trying to scare people?
Deja vu. I feel like you asked me this question a week ago. Yeah, I take the high road because I'm tall. Listen, I tote the middle. I walk casually. I'm not much of a yeller. So when people scream and stuff, I'm usually more of a what? I'm a facial guy, so that social media doesn't do much for me. But I do agree that social media is good for some people to say what they would never say in person in real life, because the ramifications and repercussions for some of their tough talk or their negative talk, the worst thing that happens to them is they get blocked.
Right.
You walk up to me on the street and say some of the things to me, you get your ass kicked. And then you got to heal, and you got to, get new teeth, probably. In some cases, learn to walk again. Yeah. So, I mean, it's less, people are a lot tougher without the consequences. Mm-hmm. But what works for me, because I get a lot of questions asked, I tend to answer them in ways that ends the conversation. Hey, Tyrus, how you doing? Maintaining. Keep moving. What's going on? Room temperature. Just throw something at them. Like, hey, what's up? Furnace. And by the time they figure out what you said, you're gone.
Yeah.
But I do think that there's a potentially dangerous numbing effect, right, from the social media. And much like kids playing shooter games nonstop, right, and the ability for that to stunt sort of the development of empathy in those kids, I think the social media can do the same thing. And we don't know, because it hasn't been here long enough, what the long-term impact can be. But I I worry that it's removed the ability for us to have a reasoned conversation, at least in the current moment.
Well, I'd like to ask my dad to stop yelling at Kat Timpf online. He would do that. That would help. Stop calling her names.
Thanks, Tom.
Okay. No, but it is true that like you're missing the like in order to have a conversation, you have to have some kind of facial recognition to see the eyes and know if somebody's kidding. Like 90% of all the problems on the social media are because nobody knows when you're kidding, you know, or like I get huge fights on texts from just people because they read it wrong. I mean, I do say in jest. They bleep that stuff. Gonna make them work late tonight.
You know what? That's a big problem in relationships.
Yes.
Because we think facts and they write emotion. Like, what time are you gonna be home? And when I read it, what time are you gonna be home? Like, once again, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, it's like, where
oh, you
are
were on the set for 12 hours? Well, she's like, you were on the set for 12 hours. Everything okay? Why you always and then when she calls, I'm like, what?
Yes.
I'm not doing nothing. I'm trying to work. Why are you yelling at me? You yelled at me first when you text me. Or when you ever notice now when someone texts you, like, I heard what you said. No, you didn't. You read what I said. Like, we've become weird.
I know. It's got to change. Any chance for a conservative peace movement? We had
I think that's great.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Yeah.
I think it can happen. I mean, the Tea Party was a peaceful movement, but it wasn't about peace. It was about economics. But I think it's possible.
But what's the thing going to be? Like the peace movement of the 60s had tie-dye T-shirts and things. What's the conservative look?
Tie-dye khakis.
Yeah.
That's what it's going to be.